All right, let's take this bad boy live.
Let's fire some tweets. Ba, ba, ba. We are on playback. Let me hit this.
Let's see where we're going with this real quick here.
Playback.
I'm gonna turn my camera off real quick because I gotta go find some things. Let's see, right here. There we go.
A-Rock.
My guy.
Are we live, Sam, or no?
We are, but we haven't started yet. I'm getting a couple things in order. Let's let people get moving.
File on in.
I gotta fire up the simulcast and a couple other details here. Give me a second.
Man, this Chiefs O-line isn't great, huh? Oh, what a throw. God, Mahomes is still awesome.
Hey, that was a nice Niners win, though.
You enjoy that one? Did you watch the whole game?
I mean, it was an ugly game.
Ugly,
but considering the reality of where the roster is with all the guys out
good
and everything,
win,
it's a good win. It's a nice little W. Can't get too mad about it.
Our Niners are going to get 4-0. We got the Jags in next week. I mean, hey man, I don't think the Niners are going to win the Super Bowl or anything, but it'd be kind of cool if,
I need
a record.
Where's your head at with the Bosa thing? Because I was not concerned, like in the sense of obviously got hurt, but I was not concerned it was a major thing because he walked off. He didn't really limp. It looked like Kittle's injury where I'm like, okay, this might be a few weeks, but you've missed the bigger thing. And then Shanahan's post-game quotes, like, not inspiring confidence for me. Not inspiring confidence for me right now.
The way he fell, it didn't look like anything was wrong. I thought he would come back. You know what I mean? One of those things. So, dude, I hope it's like 3-4 weeks and not. What does Shanahan say? He said like, oh, the physical test says it's not ACL, but we're not sure. And I'm like, what does that mean then? So is that
the waffling, his tone post game when he's not sure of something is always kind of like, all you're doing is making me more paranoid. Let me be honest with you. It's like the way he speaks. I'm like, oh fuck.
Well, Kyle's an anxious guy, we all listen to Kyle.
That's what it is. It's the anxious energy.
Yeah, Kyle caught a great game today. I thought. I mean, Mac was awesome. Dude, they have fucking 2 players on offense, man. Like Sky Moore was catching balls at the end of the game. Marquez Valdez-Scantling was catching balls. I think he caught 1, and I'm just like, Kendrick Bourne, I think, caught 2 balls, right? Like, they only got 2 guys on offense. It's crazy. DeMarcus Robinson's back next week. Dude, it feels like they're getting, like, a wide receiver 1 back or something. It's like, it's DeMarcus Robinson. He's fine. He's average.
It's wild how many how banged up they are at, like, the skill position at this point. It's just, and I got McCaffrey on my fantasy team, so I'm okay with him just spamming.
You're living on the edge, man.
It's a half PPR league, so I'm just 15 pass catches for 5 yards apiece. I'll take them. I'll take that half.
Imagine if you're in PPR. I mean, he might average like I played him this week. Thank God I had Pearsall, but it's like, yeah, dude, he had 30 touches game 1, right? I think he had 20 last week. He had another 30 this week. Do you think he looks? He doesn't look as fast as he did a couple years ago, but like he doesn't look.
Well, they can't run the ball.
Yeah,
it seems like everyone's overloading on the zone run. And just to be clear, we're going to get to Warriors in like 30 seconds, guys. We'll get the show started. It'll be full Warriors talk. Just let Andy and I catch up on the Niners for a minute. It's like I haven't seen him run the ball well, but then when you see him get out in pass patterns, he still looks like the same CMC to me. The play that sealed the game that led to the field goal, like that was vintage CMC right there.
That was such a good call. I mean, just give him the ball in space. I just my least favorite is when Kyle runs him up the middle, like when they did at the goal line. That's like my least favorite play. Like that's just not what CMC does well. It's just they put CMC in space. He's just, I mean, how many better backs are there in the league? Like maybe 2, like maybe 3. I mean,
I think he
he's
might be the
fast.
greatest receiving running back of all time. He's on there's like 4, 5 all time who like put up those numbers, so he's on that short list.
Yeah,
Hey,
I mean,
to the
yeah.
chat, UC Davis is great at football. Calm down. Shout out to the traveling Queedies there. I'm going up to Davis football game in a couple weeks. I will not
Oh,
say which one just yet, but shout out to the alma mater.
are they
They're
good?
doing a really
That's awesome.
yeah, they're good. They
Oh,
they got to the semifinals. So they're 1AA, or it's called
gotcha. The D2.
championship series,
Gotcha.
whatever it's called. They got to semifinals last year, and they're ranked top 10 in the country again this year. They're a very well run program. So shout
Ah.
out to my guys. Shout out to the Aggies. It's kind of fun. I'm kind of hyped to go up there. I'm not gonna lie. So
So when
be fun.
they play in Davis, what if it's hella hot? What if it's like 100 degrees? Do they play in that weather, or am I missing something? Because
Yeah, I mean,
doesn't.
if you look at the schedule, they try to get all the early season games at 7 p.m.
Ah, gotcha.
It's a little it's still uncomfortable, but like 8 at night, summer night, it's
Yeah.
80, bearable. A little different than 1 p.m., 100 degrees. So
I can't
it is what it
imagine.
is.
Actually, that makes a ton of sense. I was watching Cal last night, and they played at like 8 o'clock, dude. I mean, they're in San Diego. It's not even that hot, but I mean,
I do miss that. That's kind of one of my favorite things in college football, the West Coast late night games, Friday and Saturday night, because there's nothing else on.
Yeah,
And
those
it's
are
just
fun.
like, you know what? San Diego State versus Fresno State. I'm in. I got nothing else to do.
Yeah, it is
I'm
fun.
in.
Yeah.
It's
Put some
I don't know.
price picks
You
on
grew
it.
up. You grew up on the West Coast. It has a little nostalgic feel to you. Cal is that way for me, but it could be any number of West Coast schools.
They don't do like it's like Arizona State type like games
Mm-hmm.
we would watch. I guess I don't really follow college because you're saying because they're all over the place with these other leagues now, right? Like they're
Sure.
the ACC and stuff. They just don't play at 7. I guess I didn't know. I mean, I don't follow it too closely, so I can't say I'm the expert.
Yeah, I'm not a big like. It's lower on my list. Like I enjoy it, but I don't follow it with the eye that I follow like other stuff. Like it's kind of like, oh, I'll check this game out. Oh, this is cool. Anyway,
Arch. I'm gonna watch Arch. Yeah. All right, let's go.
let's get to the show, guys. Presented by Prize Picks. Get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 and use the promo code Welcome to Light Years, a Sunday night NFL Week 3. The Warriors have still not signed a player.
Yeah.
Edition of Light Years. Before we get to that, I want to call something out here. We are live on playback right now, and we are simulcasting to YouTube. This will be the way we go all season. I'm hyped about this. I'm excited. You guys can call in. We can have a lot of fun with this show. We have a plan, Andy. You and I have a plan for how we want to do Light Years for the 2025-2026 season.
Sir.
Do the Warriors have a plan?
Well,
do the Warriors have a plan for how they want to run their team?
Giannis
That
count?
is the question. Say it again.
Does Giannis count? Just trade for Giannis.
God.
Man. Big plans from our guys at one Warriors way. I love those guys.
Oh yes. They're just the big plan of we're gonna get Giannis. Does it feel like when the Warriors talk about this stuff, it sounds like when you have not done any work, and then you get your name called on in a meeting, and you immediately bullshit about the deal you're working on. And you're just like, all right, well, I guess I got a month to pull this off. But I got put on the spot here. Nothing to say. It's like, hey, we're getting Giannis.
Yeah, we're gonna just
we've all had that job. We've all had that job where we slacked off in the past at some point. And you just gotta come up with something that sounds good. We get called on.
The Warriors are the kings. Now that you mentioned that, they are the kings of saying we'll circle back a week from now with our business plan or whatever the hell that we're gonna make a week from now. Just keep pushing shit down the road. There's never actual
circle back next week.
There's never actually anything being done on their end, but just keep pushing it back. We'll push it back another couple weeks. Oh, I was sick. My something was wrong. Something or the other. Now we're pushing it back another couple weeks. Yeah, man, these guys are. All right, what's on the schedule today, Samuel? What's on the docket today?
So let's talk about this is the big thing. Like we can joke about how the Warriors have done nothing. We're in the chair. It's a day. 84, 85. Let's get to 100. I think we're going to actually get to 100 days. That's my new prediction. At this point, I want to go for the record. But look, everyone listening to this has probably listened to Slater and Windhorse's pod, or saw it on 95.7, or quite frankly, just saw some clips on social media. The Aaron Turner, aka Jonathan Kuminga's agent, media tour that he went on Friday, I got to be honest with you, that's new. I can't think of anything like that. He went on a bunch of shows and essentially just talked through their perspective.
You're firing up a video here.
No, go for it. Go for it. Real quick.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I thought you were fine, so I didn't want to cut you off. I was actually the first. So I'm going to agree with you there. I think we're going to disagree on a ton of stuff here in the next hour or so, however long we're doing this show. But I do think we agree on the first part. I was trying to think about when we've ever seen it, because I was thinking of like Rich Paul. Has he ever done something like this? I think the only thing Rich Paul has kind of done is like he comes out and like addresses the media when something happens, like his player requests a trade or something like that. The other thing I can kind of remember, Sam, or I can kind of liken it to, is Scott Boras does his like annual winter meetings. He like stands up in front of media and like does like an hour session for everyone. Like that was the other thing I thought about that was similar. Now, the difference between Scott Boras and Rich Paul, guys that I think about doing this type of stuff, versus Aaron Turner, is like the difference between me and me as a podcaster versus Bill Simmons. I think that's probably the difference between the two. So that was the part. I'm with you. I don't think we have ever seen anything like this, because the night before we're like, oh, 95.7 posted it. It was like, oh, we're gonna bring Aaron Turner on. I was like, oh, that's cool. 20-minute interview. And then I wake up and he has an interview with Anthony Slater. He has an interview with our guy Steiny and Guru. Then he does one with the Warriors talk, Bonte, and it wasn't Bonte. It was Dalton. Dalton and Monty. And then he does like another show. We see like random Warriors accounts, and I say random meaning like I don't know who they are, but they're like, "Hey, Aaron Turner told me this," and directly attributes to him. And now I'm just like, all right, so Aaron Turner's just going on every single thing in Warriors land. We're talking about from national media all the way to like your standard Warriors radio shows, and then your nobodies, and he's just kind of saying the same thing. So that's my initial thought, Sam. We have never seen anything like this, I think, in sports, and that's super fascinating to begin with.
And like the reality is, most people probably caught part of one of the 4 to 5 things. But if you're a sicko like me, you listen to every one of them word for word. And the reality is, he reiterated the same thing. There was no difference with what he said to Steiny and Guru versus what he said to Slater and Windhorse. And, right. It's just kind of like reiterating their point. The point was, they feel like the Warriors are not trying to do a fair deal with them. Obviously, that's how they feel, because he's unsigned at this point. We can argue about the TO versus the PO, or, opt-outs, or 3 years versus 1 year, how much per year, and all that stuff was discussed. But clearly, they are not at the same place right now. I guess my question for you, let's start here. Instead of getting into the little details here, why do you think he even did this? Why do you think he did this media tour? Because we can argue about if it was effective or the message he was getting out there. But to your point, I can't think of an agent who's done this in the NBA. So what do you think his goal with this was?
Yeah, it's a great question. My first thought when I think about it is I do think there's a level of desperation. I think the Aaron Turner camp with Kuminga are pretty. I think they know, or at least they believe, that the Warriors that's the final offer that they're going to give them, because we're getting all these details now. And by the way, the final offer meaning here's a 3-year offer, 75 mil, 48 or 50 of that is guaranteed, and then the third year is the team option. I think that Aaron Turner believes that that's the best offer that he'll get from the Warriors, and he's putting one final effort with a week before the deadline, a week and a half, I guess, is when he did this, to try and get the Warriors to go fully guaranteed on all 3 years, right? Which is what they want. That's the only thing I can think of. I think that's the most obvious thing that I think most people would say is that he's trying to play to that. What should I say? He's trying to play to the fan sentiment, and that's the part where I think it's like I don't know if fans more or less care about that. So we'll get to later, but I do think that's what he was trying to do. That's the only thing I can think of. Sam, tell me otherwise, or tell me I'm missing something here. You might be muted. You might be muted, or I can't hear you.
So I think there might be two things going on here, but the first thing I'm thinking of here is I think the first person, the most important person that message was for Kuminga. Look, he's his agent. He hasn't got him a deal.
Interesting.
I have zero reason to believe he's like frustrated and he's going to fire him. But, if you're representing him, you got to be a little paranoid.
Yeah.
I think one thing I know more than anything is athletes, particularly young athletes, they see what people are saying. Mm-hmm. The idea that you and I see what people say online, but a 22-year-old like Kuminga does not see what people say online, like, come on, live in like reality, And let's be honest, like the Warrior fan base sentiment about Kuminga has been very negative with this entire summer. Most of the fans have been blaming him for this. Yeah. A lot of them have been blaming the Warriors, but there's been a lot of frustration with the entire way that this is going. And I think whatever you think about Kuminga, whatever you think about his goals are, I don't think anyone wants to feel like that. I don't think anyone feels good about that. So I think first, this is an agent going to bat for him, letting everyone know, guys, this guy's working his ass off.
Yeah.
I think he cares. He just, obviously they want to get paid the most they can get paid, get the situation as favorable as they can get it. But I think that's the first part of this entire thing.
Yeah. It's a good point. I hadn't thought about it. It's a great point. I hadn't thought about that relationship between it's never crossed my mind. So you're saying that he's going to bat because I see that. I do think Kuminga's getting a lot of the
trying to change the narrative and trying to just like I'm sure Kuminga's frustrated by the way he's being painted publicly. So sometimes just going out there and being like, you guys don't know my client. You guys have the wrong impression of him, and doing that helps. I think the second part of it is exactly what you're saying, which is, he's trying to see how much he can stir the needle, how much he can kind of push the Warriors on this sort of stuff. He doesn't really have the most amazing leverage, The leverage that the Kuminga camp has is they take the qualifying offer, which means giving up $42 million.
Right.
He'd be the worst agent on earth if he advised his client to take, $40 million less. Right. So you kind of got to do this tap dance and kind of try to convince people you're crazy enough to do it.
Yeah, not an easy gig. He says a few times in the interviews that they don't have the leverage, right? They don't have the best leverage. He admits it a couple times. This is where I do think Aaron Turner was relatively honest throughout the interview, at least honest to a point where I do think he believes everything he's saying. Like, I don't think he's not a grizzled vet agent. Like, I don't think he's coming into everyone. Like, he's not speaking. I keep comparing it to like Rich Paul or Scott Boras because those are the guys that I don't believe a fucking word those guys say. Like, not a single word. Those guys are snake charmers. Like, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like, those are the best in the biz. But
they also have like power because they rep a lot of big name guys.
You mess with them, So I do think because of the way Aaron Turner's run this, and you look at his Rolodex of players, I do think like a lot of what he's saying, I do believe it. He says one thing to what you just said at first. I think getting kind of Kuminga or getting the fans kind of to understand a little more about Kuminga. He says a few times like, "Hey, Kuminga works really hard. He does care." I do believe that. Like, he does care. Whether he cares about the right things is like another story, I think is the problem. But it's obvious he works really hard. That is true. It's obvious he does care. It's just, I think we'll get to the Warriors version, but I do think like, did it work? Do you think it worked then? If you're saying, two things. One, he's trying to get, Kuminga better PR, and then 2, that third year. Do you think this actually helped that? If we think that's actually the case, what he was trying for, I don't know if it did.
I don't either. I don't know if it accomplished anything other than get his name out there. And when you hear him speak, whether you agree or disagree, I don't think anyone's coming away from it thinking like irrational per se off the bat. So I don't know. I don't know if I buy that it did anything to move the needle. All I know is the Warriors report to camp next week, 7 days, 7 days from when we're recording this. And I don't know what else to say. It's like, are we going to have a team, or is it going to be 9 players and a bunch of G League invites? Like at a certain point, I guess the gamble is at a certain point, they're hoping the Warriors have some shame with how long this has taken and make a move, right? Like maybe that's their bet, right? Their bet is the more we hold our ground, the more likely it is the Warriors will finally give in some capacity.
There is a part of this, and I kind of wish he said it, though that would be real, like wood on the fire type behaviors. I do wish because he was echo kind of some stuff that Warriors fans were saying. Like some of the stuff he could have said would have been like, "Hey man, like you guys are really gonna wait all season and waste everyone's time. Like we can't even get a training camp together." Like some of the stuff where like some of the agent stuff we were hearing before was like, or some of the leak stuff we're hearing before is like, okay, if you turn the third year into a player option or guaranteed, like he's going to buy into helping Steph win. I think that was a mistake. I think leaking that is a mistake, right? Like that's not what I think any fan wants to hear. I think most fans aren't.
More importantly, I think that makes him look bad to most basketball people.
Yeah.
I think most. Yep. I think if you work for another team, you're like, he said, yep. What? Why would we want him? Maybe Sacramento wants him because it's Sacramento.
Well,
but other teams,
it's not a team. It's not a team.
Most other teams see that comment and they're like, that doesn't sound like a guy who's matured enough to come into my organization.
And those were leaked quotes. I'm not saying that that's how Kuminga feels, but I mean when stuff like that gets out, what can you really say? I mean that's just a brutal quote. I don't think the majority, 99% of fans are going to look at that. I mean, unless you're Kevin Durant, like that's my take. Like Kevin Durant could feel that way. Kevin Durant could be like, hey, if y'all don't pay me, I'm not going to freaking, I'm not going to shoot the ball or whatever moody stuff that he always does. But it's like, it's KD though. KD is also going to help lead your team to the, to the title if you've got a Warriors jersey on him. Right. So like, that's the difference with Kuminga. And isn't that kind of the problem with a lot of like Aaron Turner's stuff here too, is like Kuminga is also not the type of player where he can have that leverage on. That's also the problem. Like he's kind of put a lot of chips on this stuff, and I think Kuminga has shown that he's not that type of guy yet. Maybe that he can push this leverage onto. But then also, Sam, I might be wrong because he got $50 million out of the Warriors. Like, I think either way, it went from 1 year to 2 year guaranteed. So he's doing something right. I mean, he's doing something right. So
they clearly got a concession. Say what you want.
Yeah.
You and I got on this pod a month ago and we're like, if the Warriors go to 2+1, it's probably a done deal. They got the 2+1. It's not a done deal. So maybe they can push the Warriors farther. I don't know. I do not know at this point. At this point, I've gone through the full range of emotions on this show. I've been angry. I've been sad. I've been distraught. At this point, I'm just kind of like, you know what? It's been this long. It's been 3 damn months. At this point, I'm just ready to see the plane get landed. Like, I'm kind of fascinated to see how this whole thing closes out. I have my opinions. I kind of think everyone looks like an idiot, if I'm going to be honest with you. I think Kuminga's camp, maybe they saved a little face with him going forward. Probably not. I don't think well of the Warriors with the way this has gone. I think a light years organization would not have got into this conversation. So no matter how it ends, even if they get the contract that they want, I'm not sitting here going like, oh, you guys are so smart. No, you got into like a pissing match with someone and dragged this out. Who knows what players and what opportunities you missed out on because of this. And now we're entering next year with, a very old team and a lot of fingers crossed on certain young guys in ways that's probably unfair to them. Probably it's unfair to be like, Will Richard, I need you to get out there and be KCP by January, like
I
Kuminga,
agree. Like
now it's time for you to get locked in and be a completely different dude than you were in May for no reason other than we want it,
And I think that's the part that's frustrating because the Warriors finished the season last season unbelievable with those 3 core guys and a bunch of good role players. And then I think we all expected this offseason to kind of just go rocket ship off of that. And it would have been nice if we had Saul Kuminga working out with Jimmy Butler. Would have been nice if those guys were learning how to play together. Not saying that stuff matters that much. I mean, like, it's fine, but at least the vibes, like, I think the vibes do matter, right? I think in all sports, if it wouldn't work, it wouldn't work, but it would be nice. And now, like what you just said, like it's not that nice when now he's coming in September 30th because he just signed a contract September 29th. The Warriors ended up relenting, and now he's in there, and it's like, is he?
And everyone on the team has heard every detail. Including the like, I'll try if you pay me. It's like, how do you think that? Even if that's just a bullshit quote for media and leverage, like, it's not going to sit well with the coaching staff or the core when there's been that inherent tension the entire time. Like, that's the other part of it. It's they've been through so much drama together at this point. You know what I mean? Like, it's like one of those things where you should probably just break up for everyone's good. Not because I dislike Kuminga or XYZ. Sometimes just clean starts are good for people.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Yeah. I think, oh, do you have a clip that you're going to go with here? Okay, good.
Yeah, no, this is on that point. I want to get to it real quick.
Okay.
Do you feel like the ownership and coaching staff are on the same page in regard on how to best utilize Kuminga?
I mean, that's tough, right?
Look at that smile.
I think the obvious answer is probably not, but it's not. It's a tough spot, right? Because you're in this place of, like, Steve's trying to win now. How much leeway can you give JK? How many mistakes can you live through, right? When development takes, mistakes, right? You have to live through mistakes, and whose mistakes are you willing to live through, and what are your goals? Now, if you're a 20-win team, right, you might not care. You'll let the guy play through all those mistakes. But when you're the Warriors, you're the Western Conference, like, it's trickier. So I don't think it's like Steve doesn't want to. And this is another thing I want to say. Everybody talks to me about JK's development. JK has gotten so much better since he stepped in the NBA. So clearly he's gotten a lot better. He's developed. I don't see it as that hasn't worked or Steve hasn't helped him along the way. I mean, Steve's definitely helped him. While whether JK takes in everything Steve says, I mean, I don't think any player agrees with everything their coach says, but has it helped him, and has he improved, and has he developed? Yeah, he has. Now, could there be more development? Could he be further along? Maybe he could, with more minutes and more touches. But, I mean, I think he's in a great place. I think for him and the rest of the league, everybody kind of just wants to see, like, what can this guy really do?
I'm sorry. Can I just be honest with you?
Yeah,
they want to get traded so bad. I'm watching this whole thing. It's polite, kind of dancing around it a little bit. But you watch this entire thing, and maybe he's trying to defend his client. Maybe he's just trying to show JK, like, you know what? I got your back. I don't want people to be unfair to you. But it's the same fucking conversation you and I have had for 4 years.
Yep.
He's raw. He's young. He's not ready to contribute to the Warriors in the context of what they want to do around Steph Curry. Let him go to a rebuilding team and figure out who he is as a player.
Easy.
Let it, like, he would be. I don't think he'd be happy winning 20 games a year after year, but I think he needs to experience it to figure out who he wants to be as a player. And, we're talking about year 5 here, just because Joe got way too hyped. Got way too excited.
There are things that I disagree with what he's saying, but the core principle of you saying that they want to get traded is undoubtedly true. I mean, it's the thing is, I think the Warriors want to trade him. They just keep making this thing. The Warriors have this addiction to putting themselves in a shitty situation and then blaming the fucking situation. You know why you guys have to deal with the base year compensation? Because you guys are morons and waited until the last possible second to try and trade him, and now you can only trade him for this half of the contract that you sign him for thing that you are struggling with. And so you tell us that that's the problem, and so now you have to sign him for $20 million, and then you can use that to trade him. But guess what? If you had just traded him a couple years ago with Andrew Wiggins, then you would have been fine. Now you're going to complain to us years after the fact.
Or remember Chris Paul? Remember Chris Paul's contract?
Oh, it's an even better one because Wiggins actually good. At least was good. And Chris Paul, $30 million. $30 million. Use that contract. By the way, what did he do with Chris Paul's contract, Sam? Do you remember what happened? What did he do with Chris Paul's contract?
They let it expire for optionality.
Nothing. Yep. Absolutely nothing. So that part very clearly you blame the Warriors because now I will say, Aaron Turner, I wish he had requested a trade. I wish that he.
Are we sure he hasn't?
Yeah, that I don't know. That's Sam's sources. I don't know. Like
remember, Kuminga's losing faith in his coach.
Man, that was when they should have.
I can't believe he. You know what? Like, I can't believe he didn't get traded when he's. If you think about it,
yeah.
A third-year player who has averaged 13 points per game and done nothing went public and said, my 4-time championship coach sucks. I'm losing faith in him. Yeah. Like, what organization doesn't trade him off of that point? Oh, maybe an organization that secretly doesn't like their head coach. An organization that secretly is mad that their head coach is stymieing their 2-timeline plan. I don't know, this all this stuff. Like, I've gone from actually disliking JK for long periods of time to at this point I'm like kind of in his camp. Not even like I just want to set him free. Just go be a wizard, bro. Go live your best life as a bull.
I don't disagree with that.
Let's go see what happens when you're in Sacramento. You know, like I don't even like. Because there is a world where he goes to one of those places and in 3 years, he actually develops into being the dude he thinks he can. And you and I are like, man, might have been wrong there. But what I do know for sure is it's never fucking happening in this scenario. It's never, ever happening on this team.
We won't be wrong because it's like, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter in terms of like, it's not going to happen here. So why does it matter? What he does somewhere else because it's not going to be applicable here. So it's like that's the part that makes it extremely. You just wasting everyone's time, man. Like we're just all right. We're gonna get to more of this. We're gonna keep going through the interview and we'll talk more about Kuminga and then we'll talk about the front office, which we haven't done yet. Before we do that, Light Years Podcast, we are brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, you and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can and will get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Just watch Cam Scatterboo, Sam, just leap into the end zone. I had no idea that he was a good running back or something. But hey, you could have gotten the more on Scatterboo.
Why didn't you think he was a good running back?
No comment. I just didn't think he'd be great. But here's what you can do. You can make your picks in less than 60 seconds, turn your sports takes into real money. Tomorrow night, we got a great one. We've got the Baltimore Ravens against the Detroit Lions. I mean, can it be a shootout? Probably going to be a shootout. So here's what I've got. Pretty straightforward. Lamar Jackson, more or less 1.5 pass touchdowns. I mean, that Lions defense is terrible. That's got to be a more. And then you've got Jared Goff. You got 2 options. You've got more or less same thing, 1.5 pass touchdowns or more or less 260.5 passing yards. I think the touchdowns are going to be there. It's just going to be one of those games, I think, where they're just going up and down. I mean, I think that Ravens defense is pretty cooked. So you can do it on that. You can go Jahmyr Gibbs receptions. You can go Zay Flowers, who's out in breakout year. You go up and down the rosters, man. Put it on that. It's going to be a great Monday Night Football game. All you got to do is download the app today. Use code LIGHTYEARS. Get $50 in lineups instantly after you play your first $5. That's code LIGHTYEARS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right. We got our guys Skims. Our gals Skims. Light Years Podcast.
We're in Skims right now. Everyone want to see?
I might take it off. Actually, one of these shows and just rock it.
That is kind of the end game of the Skims ad campaign. Us just standing here naked in Skims, horrifying everyone.
You think people are gonna like? You think we're gonna get more downloads when we do that? Just underwear models?
Absolutely not. That's why people consume us predominantly audio, but that's a different conversation.
When I first heard about Skims, I thought it was for women. I mean, I knew it was Kim Kardashian, but I thought it was like bras or only whatever. But turns out they've got briefs, and now I've got like 15 of them that I wear that I just rotate throughout the week. They're awesome. Like I always say, man, I wear them for basketball, I wear them to hoop, I wear them to run, I wear them to sleep, I wear them to walk around, I wear them on the show. And if Kuminga gets traded by September 29th, Sam and I are going to wear Skims as part of our playback breaking live show. So no, listen, get your cotton 5-inch briefs. They're super comfortable. Go to shop Skims, men at skims.com. Let them know we sent you, Sam and I. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey. Select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. Again, that's Skims, men's at skims.com. Deep sigh.
I'm so ready. I'm so just ready for the saga to be over. Like, I don't know. Do you feel like can we just be? Let's start here. You and I both agree. The crux of this issue is the front office, aka ownership, and the coaching staff are not on the same page. Pretty much everything is downstream of that, right?
I mean, the problem is it starts with why he was drafted in the first place. I think we've made this pretty clear. I don't think Steve Kerr was sitting at the front of the line saying, hey, he needs to be drafted. And as we know with Steve Kerr, he's the one that's making decisions on who gets to play most often than not. It definitely makes decisions on who gets to sign with this team. How many times have we heard that, hey, X player wants to come to the Warriors? Yeah, well, Steve doesn't freaking like him, right? And it's normally a player that's very offensively focused, wants the ball in his hands, and he wants to be here. And then Steve's like, no. What does that remind you of? Reminds you of a kid that got selected a couple of years ago on this team now, wants the ball in his hands, wants to score.
Ironically, it also reminds me of who Sacramento is trying to trade for the kid.
I don't think Steve loves Malik Monk. I think he's a good fit for this team, but yeah, I don't think he loves him. I mean, I think if he did, I think that trade probably already would have gotten done. But it's like, yeah, I mean, you can argue whether Steve is right or wrong. I mostly think Steve is right because it's shown, but you can also say like, hey, he needs to be more flexible with the players that he coaches. He does need players that look to score more instead of passing around and screaming. But at the end of the day, like, that's your coach. If you don't like him, fucking fire him. If you don't think that's the right way, then why do you have to push JK on him? Now, I will say, like, JK's very clearly had directions to say, hey, you need to freaking rebound. You need to try to play defense. You need to try and pass the ball. He does none of those things well. So it's like, okay, so he doesn't do any of those things well. He's shown he's also doesn't care about those things well. So now I'm back on your side, Sam. So if he's shown he doesn't like to do any of those things, then why is he still on the team? Why do you guys still try to make this work?
Ego and hubris, man. That's all. Never-ending. It's honestly the fall of every great dynasty. It's the fall of every great empire. Now would be historian. Now would be historian right now. No, but it is like they wanted the 2 timeline thing to work. And honestly, like, it sounds amazing. It sounds amazing that you're going to draft players and they're going to carry the torch from Steph and keep going. And, and so the decision making was about ego and, who has the highest upside instead of thinking about it coherently. It was like, well, is this player going to play? Is Steve Kerr going to play them? Is this going to work in the context of our team? And that's how we get here. That's how we get here. That's, frustrating. Everyone's a loser in this situation. Yep. I guess we say this, like, you could blame Steve. You could blame Steve for a lot of this. Like, Steve for sure is harder on young players than non-young players. Steve is for sure not a great development coach. If I had a bunch of if I was like the Wizards, I would not hire Steve Kerr. That was not my coach to groom that group of guys who are figuring out who they are. But he's the Warriors coach, and they keep making a decision to keep renewing him. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, I just don't know. I don't. Well, yes, but I'm like, I would actually have a little more respect for the front office if they fired him, and we're like, yeah, but he's a dinosaur. He needs to grow up. At least they'd have some balls. I think it'd be a mistake. I think they would ruin everything if they did that. But that takes more balls than what they're doing, which is just kicking the can down the road and being kind of passive aggressive about the whole thing, and being
okay, rank the blame, because that's our segment here. Rank the blame. Who are the people here? Who are the options?
Right. I mean, for me, it's this is gonna be boring, but for me, it's 95% the front office, and of that 95%, 99% of that is Joe. I'm gonna give Steve 2.5%, and I'm gonna give JK 2.5%.
Okay.
And I might give JK more, but he wasn't even of voting age for most of this time. Like, the front office is adults. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, everyone has accountability. Steve has accountability. The front office, JK has some accountability in this, but ultimately, the front office was the one who actually has the ability to just be like, you know what? We shouldn't have drafted him. Let's see if we can just get out of this in 2 years. Let's call it a day. It was a mistake to take him. Let's trade him now. Let's get a good player in here. Well, by the way, because the part we never talk about is when they picked him, Steph just came off of a year where he averaged 32 points per game. And individually, the spring of 2021 was like the best basketball I've ever seen Steph Curry play. With the broken ass, where he just dropping 40 on everyone every night, with Kelly Oubre and like Michael Mulder and Brad Wanamaker. Like, it was a joke roster, you know? And he was destroying the entire thing. They drafted him. Then they win a fucking title where he didn't even play in any games that mattered. You would have thought when they won a title, they would have been like, you know what? This kid's interesting. He's probably going to be a good player. The tools are there. But let's go all in on number 30. And they didn't. That's kind of like, I hate relitigating the past, but like all of this comes back to like, yeah, I would like Steve to be better with young players. Yeah, I would like JK to be more mature. But ultimately, the adults in the room are the ones who did this.
Yeah, I don't know if I have percentages, Sam, but I do have a top three. And my surprise to you is Steve Kerr's not in my top three. Steve Kerr will love that I said that. He'll love that. It's his favorite. Joe's number one top of the list. Not even fucking close. I mean, not even close. Percentage, I don't know, man. If you want to do 99%, I'm with you on 99%. I mean, all of this is Joe. You drafted him. You don't want to trade him. Now you fucking want to hold on to him. Now you want to pay him. Like, it's a clown show. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Number two for me is Kuminga. Pretty easily. Like, he's not that good. They've asked him to do the stuff that would make him play. He doesn't want to do it. The stuff that he wants to do, he's not very good at it. Like, what does he actually do that's very good outside of jump really high? Like, he can't shoot, can't really defend, he doesn't pass. So it's like all that stuff is like, all right, well, if you were that good, you would have gotten paid by someone. You would have gotten paid a lot of money. So I think that's number two. Again, it might just be 2%, right? Number three, I think it's Steph. I think Steph, like, buddy, like, this is your prime. This is your team. This is your franchise. You get to dictate what happens. Now they're in this situation because, yeah, it's Lacob's fault, 100%. Joe's fault. To me, it's Kuminga's fault. It's like, hey, man, you're not playing because you don't do the things they're telling you to do. And then the things that you do, you're not doing very well. Hey, you want to shoot a mid-range jump shot? Well, shoot it well. You shoot 20% from mid-range. If you shot it like KD, you would get play. It's very fucking simple. You can't shoot. And then I think the third one is, yeah, man, Steph. If you want to take advantage of your prime, you should have asked the front office to trade him. You should have asked them. You should have required it. Now you sit around and you let the front office do whatever they want, and this is what fucking happens. Now you're going to get this kid who apparently doesn't lock in unless he gets paid 3 years. Great. I mean, by all means, dude, like, cool, man. That's what I'm sure if I was 20, I'd be the same way. But that's the thing, Steph, that's the problem. You're relying on kids. Who the fuck told you to do that? I mean, like, you were the one that allowed it to happen.
I have some sympathy for number 30.
Yeah, because I do. I'm like tongue in cheek here, Sam. Like, I'm not like that.
I do think the idea of surrounding him and Draymond with young legs is the correct idea.
Yeah.
But the execution's been subpar, the wrong players, too young, you know. You and I were thinking like 25, not 15, you know, like, so it's just, it's all over the place at this point. Someone in the chat, I want to ask you this question. It's a good one.
Oh,
does Dunleavy blame Bob for this?
Ooh. You think Bob made that pick, Sam? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna ask.
I've given Bob a pass for this pick and the Wiseman pick. And maybe I shouldn't, but it's it's so clear that Joe forced that to a degree.
Well, if that's the case, yeah, then I mean, Bob Myers not a draft guy. That's the first problem. Like, Bob Myers is a relationships guy. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, the last thing you want is, it's just a difference of responsibilities, right? It's like, I just blame Steph for not trying to trade a guy. Like, it's not Steph's job, right? It's not Steph's job to go and say, hey, we need to trade Kuminga. Like, his job is to score 35 points a game, which he's the best at. So I don't know. I don't know who. So if it's Joe, then, like, I don't know, man. Like, how many reports that came out in the last couple of weeks? The Warriors liked Franz Wagner. Did you see that one? They like Franz Wagner. The Warriors like Trey Murphy. It's like, so who the fuck, like, who liked those guys and who made the pick then? I still want that story, Sam. Can you give it to us? Like,
that sounds like Kirk leaking to people I was smart, but I didn't get the choice. Feels like some Fredo stuff. Sorry. I'm like, I'm so unimpressed with organizations who let you know they were almost going to pick the right guy. If it was up to me, we'd have Halliburton, Franz, and Trey. It's okay, dude.
Okay.
Well, great, dude. Great.
I agree. I agree.
Dunleavy is an interesting question here because he clearly did not create the situation. He inherited it and has to figure out how to, like, get something out of it, which, I mean, anyone who's had a job has, like, inherited someone else's mess and been like, oh, this sucks. I have to figure this out. I think my take is, because Mike's been the GM for 2 years now. Here's my read on Dunleavy. He's clearly a better scout than Bob Myers. Like, he's a basketball guy. Like, I think he's good at scouting. He's good at reading, development, those sort of things. I think he might lack some of the bedside manner that Bob lacked, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like, Bob is very experienced at managing relationships. Dunleavy's a little colder, a little more, this is what it is, take it or leave it, is the vibe I'm getting from him.
Yeah.
And my perception on that is it's okay if you have someone else who can do that. But I think Joe's kind of like that too. I think other people in the Warriors organization are like that. And they're, like, clearly missing someone. They're clearly missing that person who thinks about this more as people as opposed to just, like, cold calculated, like, spreadsheet stuff. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from them at this point.
Oh, you got a bunch of Farhans in the front office. What are we doing here? White Farhans? I mean, at least, you know. I mean, so the stuff you hear about. I think Dunleavy and I mean, everybody I think knows it about Joe. I don't disagree with what you're saying. Which is why I again.
But which, by the way, Hey, I was just going to say, my perception is not that it's a negative. It's that that's one important skill set to have. It's important that you have a staff that has a robust mix of different skill sets, if that makes sense.
That's why I jokingly blame Steph, because Steph could easily be the intermediary as the leader and all that stuff. But again, I just, if they don't have one that can do it, I mean, that was Bob Myers' job, and it's very clear that that's should be a very well paid job that the Warriors are missing. Because I mean, kind of go back to what we were saying with the Kuminga stuff. It really does feel like, man, like, this is the end of the relationship, regardless of whether he signs a contract or not. Like, if he signs a 3-year deal for $75 million, all guaranteed, do you think, Sam, that he's going to be here by the end of the season? I don't think so.
No, that's the other part of it. Like, we don't even bother entertaining it. Everyone knows this is the most transparent trade chip, which, like, good luck with that too, by the way. If everyone knows you want to trade him, guess what's going to happen at the trade deadline? No one's going to give you anything great for him. And then we're going to do this rodeo.
Yep. Yep.
All we can
I
get is
can't
a
trade
role-
a future first. I can't we got to think about Steph's future. It's like, oh, fucking head already hurts, Sam.
I'm ready to move on from this entire saga. That's like kind of where I'm at with it. That's I know you're.
I think
we're all
Kuminga
there.
is. I think Kuminga is. Who I think Kuminga is. It's. I think the Warriors front office maybe aren't. I think they seem pretty content. I don't think we've heard. We haven't talked about this part. Like I don't think the front office, they haven't really leaked anything. I don't think. I think they're pretty content with, hey, this is, we're just gonna run this baby down. Take it or leave it. We're gonna run this baby down to September 29th.
CJ in the chat's like, it'll be fun to talk hoops and lineup combos. Dude, I can't wait. Because I have not been able to do that for like 4 months at this point. God forbid we actually talk about the game.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what lineup combos are, Sam. What's a lineup combo? What's a 5-man unit? What's a
It's been so long, bro. It's been so long.
Yeah. Is DeAnthony Melton going to play this season? Is he going to start the season on IR or what? Can we talk about that at some point?
Curly doesn't have a contract. So.
Right. Do you think Rick Celebrini gets to work with injured players? No, maybe not. Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, Guru, what's up, man? Appreciate you calling in.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call. I mean, I was on such a high after Eddie Pinheiro that I came to gym. I came to gym to get a workout in, and then I saw my playback notifications like Light Years is live talking about Kuminga. Say I've been wanting to talk about Kuminga since July, frankly. So actually since June, Frank. So yeah, I was looking forward to this conversation. I mean, finally having it with you guys. Yeah, yeah, for sure. The Aaron Turner thing, it's kind of, you haven't heard any agents do this because agents don't do this because it's probably a bad move, right? Like agents don't want to put themselves out there for I think he was on Steiny and Guru for an hour or something like that. Like that's crazy. He would have stayed on longer had had they not let him go, I think. I think I would be surprised if most Warriors fans are not in Kuminga's camp right now, which is that Kuminga wants out. And I think the best case scenario for the Warriors going forward is that Kuminga somehow gets traded, which I know there's like a 2% chance of that even happening. But like the vibes are so off, and you guys know like the regular season, how the regular season goes. It's like 90% vibes, right? Players go off of that when it comes to like energy, right? When the Warriors start off like 10-2, that's a good vibe thing, right? But with Kuminga coming back to this kind of situation, and he hasn't worked out with anybody. He's on his own in Cleveland, of all places, right? And like I even if the Warriors get the contract that they want with the team option and whatever, like the vibes are just going to be off. Like whenever Kuminga plays, it's just going to be like whatever. And then even if you trade him midseason for a piece that you want, now that you're climbing the uphill battle once again, like you were last year, trying to get to a 7 seed or an 8 seed, and then your older players feel the brunt of that come the postseason. So like I feel like we're heading towards the same path this year than we were last year, and that just disheartens me. Absolutely. Yeah,
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. I think that's where they're going down the road right now, where it's kind of the same story that we've seen kind of all the time. I think Sam mentioned this earlier, Guru. It's like they actually need, like they're like, oh, we want to trade Kuminga for a good player. They actually need Kuminga to be that player. Like it'd be nice if he was the guy that actually played all 82 games. But again, we're not going down the freaking road again of why that's not going to work. It's just. That's actually what they need. They're missing the ability to have 82 game players right now. Because as of right now, you're sending Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond 3-man core to play 82 games.
Yeah,
they ain't playing 82 games. Those guys are combining to play like 100. Lucky if you can get them to combine to play 200 games total combined.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Warriors roster, they have like 9 guys on the roster right now. Like pathetic. Frankly, and I think Malcolm Brogdon wasn't like one of the names that was like floated around that he might sign with the Warriors, but didn't he end up signing like an Exhibit 10 contract with the Knicks. Like he's
Yeah.
he's competing for a roster spot with the Knicks. So that just goes to show that like he would rather compete for a roster spot than wait for this like clown show to conclude, right? And like my only question is how many other players feel that way, or do they not have a choice now? There's like does DeAnthony Melton, Seth Curry, do they not have a choice but to like wait on the Warriors because the offseason's
Well, I can tell you right now, GP2 and Seth likely don't have choices, but that's not great. That's not great, you know? So,
well, they're just not that good. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, those.
I mean,
and Mountain and Horford are definitely signing, right? So it's just at the very least, I don't think
if they don't sign, I don't even know where like the crash
right
would be
right. Yeah, let's not even go down that road. I think it's.
I've like people. I have people who text me like, just saw Al Horford at Santana Row or something like that. I was just like, oh, nice. Hopefully he's a Warrior.
Yeah.
Maybe just vacationing in San Jose though. I don't know. So
yeah, great vacation spot. Great vacation. Great.
Hey, it's good shopping.
Great.
A lot of nice restaurants too. So I take the family. No.
Yeah. That's a hella far from you.
Yeah, no, it's not. But no, it's and then you hear like Guru, to your point. Then you hear the talks of like, oh, Giannis, and we want to save for this stuff, and it's just like the whole thing's kind of like it actually kind of makes me depressed because I think that you can win a title with Steph and Jimmy as your top two players. I don't think it's easy. I think they're old, and you need to definitely get a little lucky with health, given where they're at.
Yeah.
But this organization just does not seem invested in doing everything it can to make that happen. They seem very invested in trying to get the most assets possible so that they can sit on their war chest to make the perfect move. I would just like to see them go for something and like, you know what? If Steph and Jimmy get their ass beat by OKC and you get them help, I'll live with it. I'll live. They've given, like Steph specifically has given me so much joy. I'll live with like, you know what, man? You're my favorite player of all time, but Shea's better than you now. I'll live with that. I'll live. What I can't live with is like, I feel like they don't care. I feel like they don't care to put a good team around him. And then all I feel is I kind of think he could still beat a team led by Shea if they actually tried. And then I end up angry and we end up, I don't know, crashing out, being gaslit, whatever the hell you want to call it. The whole thing feels like they don't want to take the risk of putting a team around Steph because what if he doesn't win? And I'm sitting here at the other perspective, which is, you know, traditionally, if you give him a puncher's chance, I'm pretty happy with the results.
Correct.
And you know what? If it doesn't happen and he's just a little too old, I'm gonna be the first one sharing. Like how, no one's gonna be mad. No one's gonna be mad at that. Everyone's gonna just be like, it happens to everyone. Mm-hmm. Also, we'll just blame Steve Kerr. Let's be real.
I think Zach Lowe like puts it well when he talks about Steph, right? I think what he says is that like I want Steph's last couple of years to be like competitive basketball. He says like, do I expect the Warriors to ever compete with OKC? Do I expect the Warriors to compete with the Rockets this year? Probably not. But Steph in the playoffs with a puncher's chance is great basketball and it's great theater. Right. And it's kind of the same thing for LeBron, frankly. And so like looking at from
fuck him. Just kidding.
You're right. But I mean, I'm just like, and last year was a great example of you instill hope in the fan base and hope in the team itself. Like Pods played better after Jimmy got there. Moody played much better after Jimmy got there. Like the vibes were immaculate, frankly, and you just flushed that all down the toilet by one 22-year-old guy, like who doesn't know any better. And you should know better. Like last offseason, when Kuminga was asking for like 25-30 million, whatever he was asking for, the writing should have been on the wall. Like what's the probability that we actually like pay Kuminga what he wants, and if it's less than 5%, like you should make the move right then. If then, right? So I mean, the decisions that this organization makes, it just like baffles me. It baffles me.
Yeah.
I have
Appreciate
nothing
you,
to
brother.
add. Much love.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks, guys.
Guru fired up, man. Fired up. Came in hot.
Sometimes you just gotta get it out there. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, it's been. By the way, my guy DS coming through.
Yeah.
I think we all feel the same way, which is like, all right, it's been long enough. Let's just be done with this.
Yeah, I'm definitely ready for it to come to an end. But that interview, man, just so many questions and so many things that don't make sense. And I kind of hate that he went to 3 different outlets that you knew wasn't going to try to actually conflict or actually talk, try to debate some of the stuff that he's talking, like well, they should be paying him more because look what Phoenix was offering and look what Sacramento was offering and look what Jalen Green and Jalen Johnson got. Let's see. Jalen Green, despite what you may think of him, was the leading scorer on a team that ended up as the number 2 seed in the playoffs. Jalen Johnson, if he had not gotten hurt, probably would have been most improved player of the year. So how exactly does Kuminga compare to either of those two? And the Kings and the Suns talking dirty to him and saying that he's going to be this great, well-paid guy who is going to be a multi-time high-usage all-star, where you go to the Kings media and they're like,
he's
Vivek's, was feeling. Sorry.
He's Vivek's type. I'll be honest with you. Actually, probably shouldn't go down that road given their current
hey, come on. Like, keep going.
Let's not go there.
Come on.
But even you look at Kings media and what they were saying with the stuff that came out this past week, and they was like, I know one of I think it was James Ham was talking about, because he's talked to the Kings GM, was like, yeah, we was feeling Kuminga for 362. 375, I don't know if we were going to mess with that anyway. So if he ends up getting the deal he wants, Sacramento may not even be interested. And Phoenix is like, yeah, we'll happily pay him 90 if you take the corpse of Royce O'Neal and the cadaver of Nick Richards. And yeah, sure, we'll give him that money. But neither of these things are like realistic options. And they're using this to say that Kuminga is sacrificing. You can't sacrifice something that you can't get.
Yeah, I mean that's right, but I also think there's a level of the Warriors have not played this well. Like, everyone has eyes. Sacramento everyone's like leveraging the situation to get the best deal possible. He's willing to take less to go to Sacramento because of how much the Warriors have fucked the whole thing up. That says more about the Warriors, and Sacramento just like, cool, we'll save money, and I don't mean like I don't actually buy that Sacramento wouldn't take him on 25 a year. Like they offered him 21, they won't take 25. I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. I think it's one of those situations where the Warriors have already lost and they can't admit that they've lost. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of. But I always kind of look at it like the first offer, the 1+1, give up the team option, give up the player option, give up the no trade clause. That's kind of like the equivalent of Sacramento offering Devin Carter, Dario Saric.
Yeah, it's kind of a
seconds. It's a low ball deal that both sides knew wasn't ever going to get accepted.
Yeah, you throw it out there. It's like, oh, let's just see. Maybe they will. It's
right.
like
I do think part of it too is like the goal, I think, for Kuminga's long term, because his agent brings this up a couple times in the interviews. Like the goal for him is to be long term, like somewhere where he can play and make money. I know the 1 year and then the second year team option is shitty, but I was like, man, if it's a 1 year contract, dude, they can trade you quick. Like, you're gonna be off the team. Like, if you're on a 3 year guaranteed contract, yeah, you get a lot of money. I get it. But at the same time, like, do people want to trade for that contract? Like, it's not a great contract. So it's, again, it's not I'm not saying either options are great or obvious, but dude, like, if you want Kuminga to be traded immediately on a team where he can average 25 points or whatever, like, that's It's not bad. Like the 1 year isn't bad. You're going to be on another team. Then it's up to your client to go and play well, which, obvious he believes in himself. So I don't. But again, I don't know, man. It's a lot of money, dude. Like that's the problem. Like it's obvious. Like it's like DS. You don't think like there's qualifying. We haven't even talked about the qualifying offer all show because it's not happening.
Yeah,
like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy if that happens.
Absolutely for the 1+1, I think they'd have considered, and I think they might have actually pulled the trigger on it. With the new 240, where you're going to get guaranteed $45 million, no. Even he knows that. You can tell that by the interview because he's talking about, well, look what Phoenix did, look for Sacramento, and these mystery teams who are trying to. I think, how did Turner put it? These mystery teams that are trying to who talked to us, who are trying to grease the skids for next summer's free agency. It's like, there's no other teams, dude. We know the teams that are going to be with cap room next year, and you're looking at a team like Washington, who's already passed, team like the Nets, who's already passed, team like the Bulls, who already passed. They had Lonzo Ball, which I think the Warriors would have taken happily for Kuminga. It's like, nah, we're going to go ahead and use him and get Isaac, or whatever Carl's name is. Yeah, so the teams that are looking to be with cap room, you're either looking at bad teams who've already passed on Kuminga or good teams that after this whole little media tour ain't touching that man with a 10-foot pole who has to get paid to believe in rebounding and defense and who feels that Aaron Gordon and Sean Marion is not a career arc that you want to go to because, players that work hard on defense and rebounding, that's what lesser players do, not somebody as talented as Jonathan Kuminga, which is what Turner said.
Or we have to open our eyes to the possibility the Warriors have already lost and they're just going to keep losing more. And Turner's going to continue to see if he can leverage this because, like, clearly they want to get out of the Warriors. Like, the preferred outcome is him going to another team. And everyone knows it. It's not like some state secret. So, like, do the Warriors think the leverage is going to get better in 10 days? Or is this just going to continue dragging and get more and more uncomfortable?
That's what's going to happen. I think I would. Shit, I've been wrong every step of the way. I thought he'd been traded. So I don't listen to me in terms of a preview, but I do think it feels like he went on those shows because that's the offer that they're going to get. That is the final offer. Here's 2 years and 2 years in the third.
By the way,
team option. So.
By the way, if the Warriors change the offer, are we sure they're not going to just ask for something else?
Then that's on the Warriors.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of where I'm at. It's kind of where I'm at with this entire thing. It feels like the Warriors keep trying to establish leverage, which I don't know. I don't know, but I'm tired. I'm tired of every step of this.
I think that's why they held on to the 1+1 because they figured let's go ahead and stay strong on this until the very end, and then we can go ahead and move up to the 2+1 offer. Because if they came out the 1+1 offer like a month ago, Turner would have been pushing for more than that. Then he would have been pushing for more than that. So they've kind of not so much mad at the way the Warriors have handled this, so much as it's stuff that they should have done beforehand. What they're doing now is pretty much all they can really do.
Yeah.
I feel like part of being good management is being honest with yourself and cutting your losses. And that's kind of where I'm at with the Warriors at this point. I feel like they think they can pull a rabbit out of the hat. I don't see it. And you know what? If they do, I'll be the first to come on here and be like, Joe, you showed me again. You showed me again, big man. But I don't know. It just big dog. Yeah.
Big dog.
It just feels like, bro, it's not getting better. It's not getting better.
And I think the final thing for me is like if the Warriors quote unquote win this negotiation, like if they get him to take a 3-year and the third year is a team option, it's like I don't give a shit if you win the negotiation. I don't give a shit. You guys already lost. Like you guys have already lost. Yeah. You guys have already lost. This is a toxic relationship that the Warriors are in with this. With Kuminga. So just let's go, man. Let's go, but like Warriors, you just gotta They're not winning unless a trade happens. Now, they make a trade. I don't know what percentage, Sam. Did you say 2%? Fine. If it's a 2% chance, I'll live with the 2%. I'll keep dreaming. Okay. Give me the copium for another week. 2%. Give me 2%. I'm sure Aaron,
Holden,
Turner, and Kuminga are both thinking the same thing, right?
Holden asked the question. We're gonna leave on this. What does Warriors winning look like?
Trade.
It's a trade. Clearly they don't care about keeping him long term, and that's fine. We're all over it. Winning for them is being able to be like, okay, he was the wrong player, but we got Trey Murphy out of him. We got Giannis out. You know what I'm saying? It's like being able to say that you turned him into something you can sell.
Yeah,
and I don't think it's going to happen. Like I would like that to happen. That sounds great. That sounds great to me. You know, I think the more likely scenario is like, sometimes you just got to cut your losses because.
No, they can sign and trade right now.
You're wasting everyone's time. Take Malik Monk in the first round pick and then use the picks to go get something. Call it a day. You know, like that's exactly. Like, is that the most exciting offer on earth? No, of course not. But it's something. Do you think it's going to be better in January if he's here on unhappy on a contract he doesn't want to be on? Like, there's a very realistic scenario that the Kings come back to you and say, hey, we'll give you Malik Monk, but no first anymore. You know, like, I don't know.
Dude, getting cooked by Vivek. All right, we're done. I mean, just getting cooked by Vivek. We're done. We're done.
Yeah, that drives me right back to the chair. Appreciate you.
Yeah,